what are 5 of my favorite mods that I've done to my Jeep that I'm gonna be doing to my new Jeep. Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Casey, and well, behind me, we've got my 2020 EcoDiesel Jeep Wrangler, and yes, you heard that right. We have a new Jeep on the way. I'm not quite ready to talk about it yet, but if you want to find out a little bit more, I am sharing some information on my Patreon page. You can go check it out. There's a link in the description. But I thought this would be a good chance to kind of tease you guys a little bit that we have a new Jeep coming. Let me tell you about the first mod, and this is hands down my favorite mod for the Jeep, and that's the overhead rack that we have right here. This is the JCR Molly panel overhead rack. You can install this in about an hour. I did do an install video. I'll put a link up in the corner if you want to check it out. So on mine, I have my radio faceplate, my communications radio faceplate. I have my Spot GPS up here, which is on a mag mount, and I can quickly grab it if I need it. And it gets really good satellite coverage because it's at the top of the Jeep pointing up. And a 67 Designs rail with ball mounts that holds it nice and tucked up out of the way. We have a glass breaking tool here. If we end up in a situation we need to smash one of the windows, we can easily access that and grab it, which if you guys don't have one of these, go get one. Trust me, when you need it, you'll want it. I'll put some links to some of the stuff that we're using in this video if you want to check it out. We've got an Element fire extinguisher. If you haven't seen one of these are portable fire extinguishers. They don't expire. They're compact. You can put them anywhere. You basically just pull the top off, pull the bottom off, strike the top with the bottom, and it releases this huge fog that puts out fires. And I believe one of these is equivalent to like multiple regular size fire extinguishers. And you've got it right here, right next to you. I've put on a gear bag as well. We keep our merch in there, which you can check out, available, dirtyanddangerous.com. And with the soft top, I've ended up having a bit of a gear loft because we've got more room above the rack with the soft top. So I keep some jackets up there, an extra light. And then on top of that, we've got our aux beam controller. This controls some of my auxiliary lights. And then towards the back, I've fixed a speaker on here, which is connected to my communications radio. And I like it because it's central in the vehicle. The driver and passenger can hear it really well. And it's fairly close to my ear, so I don't have to have it cranked up in the Jeep to be able to hear it. So that's the first mod that I will be doing to the new Jeep. Okay, the second essential mod is, well, honestly, a lot of these essential mods are right around the driver area. But this is the 67 Designs JL rail. This is awesome if you want a great spot to mount some devices. You can mount different, lighting controllers on here if you want. I use mine. I have a GoPro mount on here. Actually, let me show you this cool GoPro mount. This is a magnet twist lock. So we pull it off there. And this is how we get some of the awesome shots on the channel. We just pop that on. Boom, now I can talk to my GoPro. But you may not be using a GoPro like that, but a lot of you guys want a forward-facing GoPro camera. You can get different length arms, and I've got another one here. This is actually a phone holder. So this is a really cool thing that I haven't talked about on the channel yet, but this is from Rockform, and we've adapted this to work on the 67 Designs arm. So I've got the Rockform case on my phone, and it's got this twist lock system on here, as well as a magnet on the bottom. But you put it on there. So now the other cool thing about this is a wireless charger. So when my phone is on here, this is actually charging my phone. It's connected up, and now if the vehicle's on, it'll be charging. Now I've ran some USB cables up and around from underneath here, and if you have the aux switches on your Jeep, there's actually a switched power and constant power wire underneath here with the other 4 aux switch wires. And if you didn't know, there's 4 aux switch wires under your dash as well as under your hood if you have the aux switches here. Basically, I took the switched power, connected it to a USB connector, and we ran some power cables up here. And so we've got one for the wireless charger, and we've got one hidden here if we need to plug in other devices and such and have them charged. But anyways, 67 Designs mount system is awesome. Lots of versatility here with different arms, different connectors. I really, really like having my phone sitting right here next to my driver's area. It's a little bit out of the way. I don't think it's in the way of the airbag. And I can run Google Maps when we're on road trips, but it's not glaring me right in the face right here. It's off to the side just a little bit. So there you go. Okay, let's move to the get my my cans out of here. All right, let's move sort of to the exterior of the Jeep because we've just talked about interior mods. This one is an interior-exterior mod, but this is the Kraken tire inflation system from Epic Adventure Outfitters. If you haven't seen this already, there's a video that got a ton of views. I'll put a link to up in the corner, but this is a four tire air inflation system that sits underneath of your passenger seat. We've got my ARB twin compressor that is mounted to the Kraken's base plate. So the Kraken comes with everything you need basically to turnkey install your ARB twin compressor into your Jeep Wrangler or Gladiator. And it comes with a wiring harness. Everything is cut to the right length. It's pretty much everything you need. And you can install it in about an hour or so, depending on if you read the instructions or just try to wing it. But it's got all the right length harness for it to connect up to the battery. And as well, you've got the mounting plate. You've got the switch to turn it on, which mounts here, so you don't need to mount it. You don't need to wire it up to any other switch system. You can flip it on just like that. And we've got our hose connection here for our passenger side tires. We need to air up after a day of wheeling. We just grab our hoses out of the bag, and we've got two pairs here. These are cut to length to work with a Jeep Wrangler or Gladiator, but they're all push to connect fittings, so you could actually shorten these up if you wanted, but really straightforward. We just plug that right into there. We take this, we plug it in to our valve stem on each of our tires, and we go around to the other side with our other connection here. We have a second outlet under our driver's seat for our driver's side tires. Same process. We just click that into place. We connect up our air lines to our tires. Then we hit the on switch and we wait for our tires to fill up. We can watch our onboard tire pressure sensors update and tell us how much air we have in our tires. And then when we're done, just hit the switch and you're good to go. And so I've used the Kraken a ton since getting it in the Jeep about 6 months ago. It's just one of those solutions that's super clean, super easy to use. And I really like it. I know lots of you guys have been trying to get your hands on one of these Krakens. Well, yesterday, Epic just put a whole pile of inventory on their site. So go grab one before they sell out. I'll put a link down in the description that you can use to go directly to it. And go pick one up right away because I don't think they're going to last very long. And they just restocked the site. I really, really enjoy this air up system. And I think you will too if you grab one. All right, moving to the front of the Jeep. This is a mod I don't think any Jeep should go off-roading without, and this, well, is a winch. And so I've added this to the factory steel bumper. I've just taken the end caps off of it, and I've added a Warn Xeon 12S winch to this. But a lot of you might be wondering, how do you add that to the factory steel bumper? Well, Warn makes a mounting plate system that allows you to really low profile and discreetly mount your winch to the front of your Jeep. And you don't have to go buy an aftermarket bumper if you got the steel bumper. This doesn't work with the plastic bumper, so if you have that, well, find a steel bumper or a aftermarket bumper. But this works really well with the steel bumper that comes from the factory. And so we've added, we've got the 12,000 pound winch on here, sits nice and low, doesn't block into the air intake or the radiator on the front. And so it's not causing any heating issues, which can be a problem with the EcoDiesel, but won't be with my new Jeep. So on the front, we also have a nice plate to fill in some of the area around the fair lead, and it gives you a spot to mount your license plate if you're required to run one on the front like we are. And then we've got Warn's Epic fair lead on here and a Factor 55 Ultra hook, which will definitely be going with the new Jeep. So a winch is not only one of my favorite mods, it's definitely an essential mod. The new Jeep will absolutely be getting a winch, and I'll probably be doing a setup exactly like this because I really like the steel OEM kind of look. Jeep did a great job designing this bumper, and I'm not really wanting to put something aftermarket and look too crazy on there. We'll probably be doing a setup just like this. This last mod is, well, something I really, really like on my Wrangler, but if you're a member on my Patreon site, you'll understand why we won't be able to use this mod on the new Jeep. And if you're not a member of Patreon site, go check it out. There's a link in the description below. This is where I'm already starting to talk about the new Jeep and we talk about behind the scenes and things that may not be on the channel for a couple weeks or a couple of months, and we have some great behind the scenes conversations. But on the Wrangler, I really like this. This is the Outback Adventures Trailgater tailgate table, and as you can see, I just use that with one hand. So since this isn't actually a mod that I will be doing on the new Jeep, I'll give you one more bonus mod after this. But if you have a Wrangler, I love this table. I've been using this for a few months now, and I'm surprised it took me this long to get one. This is the Trailgater by Outback Adventure Products. I've got the bamboo cutting board on here. You can easily drop it down with one hand. You've got the magnet up here for your knives or any utensils you want to put up here. They have different backsplashes on here, but I went this sort of like this iron look, which I think cleans up really well, and sometimes you'll get grease and stuff on there and it hides it a bit. This doesn't rattle at all once it's stowed. You've got locks on both sides of these, connect into place, really easy to use latches to let it out. And I love this table. I'm gonna miss it. A little bit of a spoiler, but I'm gonna miss it on the new Jeep. But this is awesome. You know, you wanna quickly make a sandwich, stop in for lunch, you're stopping to cook dinner, you've got lots of cooking space here. I use it all the time to prep my drone before I'm gonna fly it. I've got a nice clean dust-free surface. I've got the cutting board that slides out, give you even more space for cooking and preparing food. This thing is great. I'm gonna really miss it. Let me tell you one more thing that I really like that I'm definitely gonna be putting in the new Jeep though, but we gotta go back inside. If you guys don't have one of these, this is a dash cam, and this one particularly is made by Blackview. It's really small and discreet. It's just a small little barrel that sits out of my view behind the rear view mirror. I've never had a dash cam in a vehicle before, and honestly, this thing is so handy. Not only for just, you know, if something happens, like an accident, you may catch somebody else having an accident, you may have an accident, you may be able to shed the blame from the accident by some of the footage that you have on your dash cam. But also, I use this all the time when we're out off-roading, and if something happens and I don't have my forward-facing GoPro going or I don't have a camera going, I can just connect up to the dash cam and pull down the footage. This Blackview dash cam is 4K, it's got night vision, and it also has a rear camera that we have mounted in the back of the Jeep. You can connect to it with their app on your phone. You can download the clips really easily. You don't have to pull the SD card out of there. It's just super handy. It has speed information, GPS information, but I like it because I make YouTube videos, and if I miss something happening, I know it's on there. You can put different size SD cards in there. I've got a 256 gig card in there, and it records pretty much everything that goes on in 1 minute intervals. And I get, you know, like almost 2 days of recordings on there. Definitely going to be putting a dash cam in the new rig. And here, let me show you where the rear camera is on my Jeep. Oh, and if you're wondering about wiring this in, as we talked about earlier with the aux switches, well, you've got the constant power and switched power under your dash. It's a really easy installation because all you have to do is run a wire across the top of your window frame, down the A-pillar, around the side, and then you can connect it up underneath the dash. You don't need to get a professional installer or anything like that. So if we come around to the back of the Jeep, I've got the rear one mounted on my rear roll bar. Now on the Jeep, there isn't really an ideal location. The reason I like it here is not necessarily to see what's behind me, but if somebody comes up to my Jeep and, you know, opens up the soft top or messes with my gear, they're gonna be right on camera right here. So having that right here is more about security than catching an accident, but it's a super wide lens, and it can see a little bit, and it might show you enough to help you with an accident if something happens from the rear. But we've just mounted up here on the roll bar. Nice little discreet place to keep an eye on our cargo. And if I can ask you guys to do a quick favor, leave a like if you enjoyed this video. I appreciate that. I will put links down in the description to all the things that I've talked about in today's video. I'll see you guys next week in the next video.